Hey there, YouTube. Trying out this YouTube Live with an additional shot out my window here. We're getting a pretty good lightning storm through here. But this is manufactured severe weather. So I'd like to cloud this out. So if my house gets blown away, I talk to my insurance, boom, there we go. Yeah. Trying to watch the prices right, and I use an antenna outside. Sure. But I got a video that's uploading right now that I did of the radar loops, and that's another close one. It likes those trees over there. I could get that's a pretty good shot that I have. I could, you know, have a look up there, but this is using YouTube Live, and I'm curious about how long it'll allow me to upload. So you don't have to watch this entire video. I really want to just record the weather, and it's supposed to have some downpouring here pretty soon. Ooh, another close one. Even lightning damage, folks, you have to report to your insurance company. You should, and say, hey man, manufactured weather, and I want these guys to pay. Oh, they said, well, it'll rain anyway. Would have happened anyway. Really? That's the reason why they're not telling you anything, folks, is because they don't want to be sued in a court of law in front of a jury. Oh, close one again. Those are my young trees out front there. The one that you see there on the left is a cherry that was damaged in a storm that I had to repair. Wasn't very happy about that. Yeah, that might help there, the image. That light you see in the background is actually the street light. That's how dark it is outside at about 10 after 10. Yeah, I'm curious about how much YouTube will let me get away with this live upstream here. So if it cuts off at any time, my apologies. To me, they've told me I have unlimited upload time, and that's why I enjoy uploading with the HD. I don't have to worry about that. I try to stay in any good standing and not violating any copyrights or things of that nature. As you can see, heavy rain now. And this is manufactured rain, folks. Manufactured weather. Right now, energy is being pulsated over my head. Okay, at about 5 stories to 6 stories high, and up into these storms to intensify them. Remember, if you can cook meat in the microwave, I'm sure you can cook a few water droplets in the atmosphere. It's really that easy. That is, if you have the right things in the atmosphere for it to react to. You know, found that, hey, you got a little bit of water to this and that. Create dry lines, cold fronts, high and low pressures. From what I understand, if you want to know what the implications of with HARP, as a male person out there, rain, sleet, snow, or stuff. Huh? But with HARP, uh, it's used to move the jet stream. So that's what it's good for when it comes to weather modification. Because they don't need to use HARP anymore, but you got all these NEXRAD stations all around the United States. And remember Tesla's idea about transporting energy from one point to the other. And they're going to set up these networks like that all over the United States. And it's important to note that the frequencies these are being used at interact on the biological level. That's why we could be seeing birds falling out of the sky. That's my hypothesis on the mass deaths. In water, too, because you're adding this stuff to our water because no states are monitoring their rain. No states do that. They monitor your streams, but yeah. But they don't monitor your rain. Think about that. They don't test your rain. You know, your water boards might test it where they're treating it or whatnot. They ain't testing your rain. And that's curious. Check it out for yourself in your own state. And if not, start mailing in some samples. You know, if it's rain is declared safe, then, you know, shouldn't be any reason why they should be upset if they get a sample in their office. You know what I mean? I heard that's the one guy, David Andrew Christensen, did that. Said, well, you declared all this area down south all safe and clean and all that from BP, so here's a sample of our seaweed. You know, here's a sample of our dirt. You know, there's no biological problems with it. You say it's safe and clean. You know, so here's a little sample of what you're responsible for. But that was a pretty ingenious idea. Yeah, you got the trash man coming around now the corner. They just have to stay in their cabs now. They just go and they have this lift in it, you know, with the containers we have now. They don't even get wet anymore. But the other day, the last trash day, he came around that corner same way as he is now, but caught the line that went over the road and tore down a couple poles in the light, cable line and stuff. The top of it caught it. And that was pretty funny. It wasn't really his fault because, you know, it's the city's responsibility, right? Make sure them lines are high enough so these guys can get through. So when his manager showed up, I said, man, it wasn't his fault. There he goes. You know, right now we do have severe weather coming through. Should last for a while. Those flashes that you're seeing are bolts of lightning. They should listen. Well, I give me some more coffee. Oh my, she just won a car. Oh, tremendous. Now she gets to buy insurance and oil changes and tires. Oh, let's not forget gas. These game shows are hilarious. I wouldn't want to win a car. Gosh, I got too many of them right now. I have 5 of our own on the insurance policies. It's outrageous. And I carry full coverage. So if my car gets damaged because of weather, guess what? Go ahead and throw down some softball-sized hail in my neighborhood. You damage my cars. I got 60, 70, about 75, 80 grand worth of cars out there. Yeah, I'll say go after these guys because I got it on film. And they'll say, what guys? And so days before, here they are prepping the atmosphere. And here's how it's done. So nowadays, I think it's really important that every American educate themselves in weather modification and understand that your weather is now man-made. Okay, I was watching a Dick Van Dyke show. This kid was out dressing up as a cloud, and they were doing a science theater show, and they're talking about cloud seeding. This is Dick Van Dyke, black and white. Here I am filming in HD, and nobody believes it today. Yeah, I know. Yeah, baby. I'm going to go with my coffee here. Still filming. Gotta have sugar. And cream. Anybody must know that as a prepper, I always have at least 1 year's worth of coffee and creamer and sugar in the event of a collapse. How much would a bag of coffee be worth? Be better than dope. What? Are you serious? Get a cup of coffee. Get a cup of coffee. Are you serious? Are you serious? Get a cup of coffee. Get a cup of coffee. What? Paul Bagley terminology. What? No, but seriously, folks. Um, I film these weather events when I feel that there is a significance. If you watch my previous video, it'll show the radar loops and why I think it's important. And this is really like an attempt because I'm using YouTube Live actually right now to upload. Over 15 minutes now, and still allowing me to upload. They have me under the impression I have unlimited, so we'll see how long they'll allow me to do a YouTube Live upload. We got these fronts coming in one after another, and can I get a live video of my house being blown away? No, we don't really have probably that kind of weather coming in probably. As you can see, the wind is minimal so far. It's a lot of heavy rain, possible hail though, and I don't want any hail damage. But the last one I had actually, sad to say, my camera was damaged. My JVC that I used to film the last storm that I actually sat outside in. Whoa! Yeah, a bolt actually got caught there, right in the middle of the screen. But I actually sat outside with my JVC on my. Actually, I was standing up, but the wind got so intense because it was 80-mile-an-hour winds. It was blowing me over. So, and I sat down out there, just in my shorts and t-shirt, and my camera, and that camera got very wet, and eventually died on me. And so I'm using these little alternatives that I have until I'm going to go shopping for one even nicer. The funds may allow that sometime. Who knows? The JVC little handy ones aren't too bad, but I want one that I can have multiple lenses on and filters, things of that nature. And looks like we're getting some hail, folks. Shut up so you can hear it. Here we go, pointing more towards the ground. Yeah, hail, a lot of lightning. Looks to be pea-sized hail. A few marble size. Let me just go ahead and replace my camera back where it needs to be. Because it really does have a nice focus there, but wow, check this out, folks. Manufactured hail. Remember, it's all manufactured, folks. You don't want to work this. It's pouring now. But this is my emphasis: space weather equals Earth weather. Okay, they're taking advantage of the incoming energy from the sun to make these storms as well. How does it work? The sun comes up in the morning, warms up your ground, right? Sun sets, cools off, right? You gotta sleep by the simple truth. Oh, we got some wind now. Very good. I'll be right back. Yes, now YouTube, I am a sopping mess. I think my dogs would love to go outside, but it is pouring rain out there. My driveway is a river, and that road out there actually is a river, about a half-inch deep, actually. And so that rain's coming down really, really fast. And my lawn is saturated to where it's underwater. Um, the rain feels pretty cold, actually, which is telling. And my gutters are overflowing. We can't keep up with the flow. And it's flowing down one of my window sills. Not inside, but it's flowing down over a window. I'm concerned about. But yeah, when I was walking out there to retrieve my trash bucket or cart, I hope it caught that lightning bolt out there. Came pretty close to me. But I love standing out there during the storms. But I had a smoke with me, and raining so hard you couldn't even smoke his smoke out there. So it just went all to sog on me. Not that I promote smoking. Please quit, guys. But like I said, you don't have to watch this whole thing. This is for my own personal uh, clouding purposes. It has date, time stamps on it. Everything to prove its authenticity, to show it from beginning to end, like I prove. Get out there, show them prep in the atmosphere for days before. And I'm telling you guys, space weather equals Earth weather. You got those X-flares popping off, okay? That's going to send your temperatures up, especially if you get the protons coming in and the absorption, and you're going to up your temperatures. And where do you think you get your temperatures to begin with? You know, the Earth could only survive without the sun for a year. And if the sun went dark tomorrow, take about a year for the planet to die. Let it get cold real quick. Like 32 degrees would be your best temperature on the planet. So where do you grow? You know, photosynthesis would break down. Talk about an atmosphere out of control. Whoop. Another close one. Yeah, we get a lot of bizarre lightning around here. I have a lot of trees around me too. And I do that on purpose. Like, you know, keep the big old ones around for that type of purpose, to absorb some of those lightning strikes. So far, I'm 26 minutes into this video. a friend just drive by. When he drives by, sometimes he honks. Guess he just ran up to the store. I don't know. Oh, no, I don't think he's working today. He works up actually at the Kumiko. But here, I'll take this down here. I'll show you just quickly. This is a updated radar loop. And I'm trusting that that's coming through okay for you. But this is what's heading our way. You can tell where they manufacture here, here, and here. These 3 plumes. So yeah, I hope that's coming through for you okay. Back up where it needs to go. Like I said, we had pea-sized hail earlier. Ooh, let's get that for you. Very close. Hope that radar image came through because I didn't have a view on. But I wanted to show you that's the storm system that's coming through. All manufactured weather. As you can see, the street lights don't want to go out. That's how dark it is out there. Those photoelectric cells don't want to go off. I had a friend of mine that's on YouTube was saying that every time he goes by those things, when he's driving his truck, they tend to pop off. You know, they go off, right? And well, my friend, it could be one of two things. It could be the lights on your truck because they have photoelectric cells, and it could be bright enough that it's turning them off. Or you have a guardian angel, and just because you can't see them with your eyes, it doesn't mean that those photoelectric cells can't see them. You know, because you know angels are actually pretty bright if you were to ever see them, and so maybe you have a guardian angel that's always right close to you. So thought I'd throw that one out to you, and you just happen to notice some effect of them being near. You know, the Bible says we entertain angels unaware. You know, so think about that next time you are entertaining a stranger. Okay, it's not so much how we treat our friends and our family, even though that's real important. That helps us when we have to treat the stranger. You know, are they hungry? Give them something to eat. Are they thirsty? Give them something to drink. And that's just not physical food and physical water. It's spiritual food and spiritual water. You know, sometimes you want to throw money at them and feel good about it, but you know, sometimes things that are more valuable than gold, right? Some things that rust and moth can't destroy. So that's where I put my hope and my faith in, honestly. You know, these guys may be able to send their storms at us any way, shape, or form they want. They can destroy things, but that's their world, and this is the best that it's going to get for them. Think about that. This is the closest to heaven they'll ever get, and this is the closest to hell I'll ever get. I'm curious if they let me upload all day long. Or they'll say, oh, you reached your maximum or something. But this live video is going out to all those who had their videos blocked. I think that, hey, you know, if you have an account on YouTube or develop an account, a zombie account, just point your camera outside and before you go to work and hit record and come back, see what happens. You know, that would shut YouTube down. That would make it go, Not that we'd want to do that. We want them to maintain their sense of freedom and privacy, and also, you know, don't censor people. You know, a lot of times these videos are put on servers that are old and dilapidated and slow. So when you watch these films, they hang up and, you know, don't perform well or don't stream very fast. So you don't get the actual HD quality, etc. And then reserve the newer servers and the newer systems for the paid accounts, etc. All right, so they basically put your files in a digital graveyard, you know, digital dumping ground, as to say. They don't get the highest priority maintenance, etc. It's the way they manage your server farms. I think that's one of their policies. So people are complaining about their accounts not functioning well. That's because your account itself is being sent to a digital graveyard. Okay, I'm an IT specialist, man. I know how they build these server farms. I work for major corporations. I got to go into place, you know, it's called the Holy of Holies, where only certain people with security clearances were allowed to even get near these machines. Okay, because you could cost millions of dollars just by, you know, pulling the wrong cords, I guess. Just by doing that, causing outages. You don't need to be a super hacker to actually cause millions of dollars of damage. So they protect these places. And YouTube, I'm sure, I think has a policy, especially when it says news and politics, science and technology. You know, it asks you to choose what genre. Oh, well, if it's nonprofit and activism, look, to the graveyard you go. Choose news and politics, to the graveyard it goes. You know, science and technology, yeah, it's hard to bury those, you know. So tag them, right? Comedy, yeah. You know, so how do you save your videos to avoid that digital graveyard? Well, I think anything that isn't a paid account is in danger of that period. It's marginalized. I don't have a paid account, by the way. Mine is free. Only because I've been on YouTube for uh, a while. Uh-oh. I might be getting a power problem, folks. That one was so close at the EMP field. I mean, it gave it a drain here in my house. Now, when you saw me out there, the wind was pretty good. The wind has calmed down now a little bit, but that's only a brief lapse. We have another front that's coming in right behind the one that was in. Oops, it's another close one. See how we're the outside of this picture of a huge oak. I think that's what's attracting some of this. And I sit on top of a hill in this neighborhood. Actually, I'm above the house that you see, above the other houses too. And I'm on the corner. But also, I wanted to mention too, since I'm doing a long video, anybody who cares to be watching it all, uh, I think I have some people that have either subscribed to my channel or have been watching my videos that are actually contracted to do the geoengineering in my particular area. There's been a few people that have sent me messages that were questionable, not questionable, but just like curious, that they knew, but played kind of stupid. Maybe it's just, the trolls that are out there, but I have a feeling that some of the guys that are up there are actually flying and doing the chemtrailing themselves or watching my videos. And there's another reason why I say that. And I'll show you video proof if you need that, if you want to demand it. Comment, let me know. But they literally leave the trails right above my house. Start right above my house. Maybe like no trail, and then all of a sudden they come right over our town and property and start their trails and stuff like that. Or do some of their neat aerobatic feats where they come close and intersect one another and stuff. And you do it right over my town, like, hey man, catch me on film type of thing, Yeah, I get a lot of lightning. I'm up to 40 minutes on the YouTube Live, folks. Are they going to let me save it? I'm going to keep recording. This is, like I said, I'm going to see how long y'all let me do it. Oops, sorry. I have my curtain there. The Solar Max technology. Screencaster and HD camera. And a smartphone. Oh, and a tablet. Got a laptop. It's pretty cool. I run everything on Dell. Everything I have is Dell. I had a cell phone even that was Dell, but I gave that to my sister. I like the Motorola Proton. It's got a fairly good camera, and it's thin, light, and does the job. It's not an HTE phone, but it's supposed to get 4G, but don't out here. As you can see, I'm in the boondocks. But actually, we're right outside of Polk County here in Dallas County. This is the most prosperous county in Iowa due to its location. Expansion out of Polk County, where Des Moines is located, West Des Moines, all that. And everybody wants out of Des Moines comes here. You won't see very many for sale signs in this town. There's two reasons for that. One, once you move here, you kind of end up growing roots because it's a pretty neat little town. And some people are still underwater in their homes. They got took on the refinance scams that came through. So they're not going to sell their homes. They're going to stay in them, work on them, and not move. I have a friend of mine up the street. He did the same thing. He had his house for sale for $99,000. No takers. So it's not that we don't have good property values. It's just that when it comes to buying homes, people don't want to be underwater. It's still a buyer's market out there, actually. People tend to buy when it's a seller's market. People wonder why their land gets so cheap. Why is this house so cheap? So you can make money off of it later. Like I said, here comes the other front I promised you. Heavy rain, shield coming in first. Now I might expect a little bit more hail out of this one. And 43 minutes in, and still no complaints from YouTube about recording. You know, often I refer to YouTube as just talking into a tin can. That's why they developed it, so you're not out there on the streets talking to your community leaders like your mayors and your city councils, your sheriffs and your deputies and your fellow neighbors. I don't want you coming up with policies on your own together in your neighborhoods. You know, sure, you could go out there and I talk to somebody in California and they talk to me and talk to somebody in Boston who talk to me in New York, whatever. Great, you know, get some common flow of information and we'll get a little bit wiser for it. But, you know, what's going to be the overall effect? You know, are you going to be talking to your mayors about it? About whatever you're interested in and whatever your calling is, you know. I think that's one thing that America suffered for is this lack of community. Now, I'm not talking about the socialism, communism community. We're talking about, you know, a sense of pride in your community where you live. Your sense of ownership, even. You know, people are used to moving and being able to just, oh, if I don't like it, I can move. Well, we really don't have that, what do you say, luxury today, do we? So now that we know that we're stuck with one another, you're going to find out what's really important real quick. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that you weren't going to be able to hide what's going on in the sun and its effect on Earth. And here we are. And got icing coming in. What's the importance there? Even suspicious observers have down. I've communicated with him privately about it surviving even perihelion. Now he's even hinting at it not. He even now bringing in weather modification and what he finds important and provable. He'll throw a little bit there, and since he has to cover the weather globally, well, can't ignore geoengineering. None of you can. That are out there reporting on any type of space weather. You know, everybody wants to forecast the incoming comets and etc. Asteroids and etc. You know, trust me, that may be coming. But that's just not the end of what I call their deception. You know, remember we are on the anniversary of the War of the Worlds broadcast. Well, October 28th, I think it was. With H.G. Wells and fooled the whole American people with a simple theater radio broadcast sent, you know, millions of people in panic, and people lost their lives, actually. People committed suicide over a radio broadcast. That was America's first inventor of the false flag. Think about that. Why do you think it was really in the news? I mean, there's been other anniversaries of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. Last year, where there was an anniversary, nothing on the news. But this time, it was all over every news broadcast about H.G. Wells and his War of the Worlds broadcast and how American people were fooled. And that was the one over
overarching theme that I think was mentioned in the media, but like a blurb, you know. Everything else is about what he did. But how the American people were so fooled into believing that we were being invaded by Martians back in the 30s? Really? What was it, 1938 that occurred in? You know, and they believed it. What did they know about Mars then? Or what did they think about Mars then? You know, were people more open-minded than they are today? Where you think back then, you know, they're being very religiously conservative, but also believing in Martians invading the possibility, you know. And I think that's because a lot of the people back then were like they are now, like they'd be fooled now because, you know, back then they were being controlled by fear. You know, we had World War One with Hitler and his eventual rise to power again, so everybody was in fear of that and was very controlled by fear. And so that's what you see today, you know. Uh, why do you think you watch the news and all you hear is bad news? And they'll throw one little thing in there that sounded good, or might be a public interest or charity or whatnot, so they can give each other a pat on the back because they feel guilty about their success, or not success, but their wealth, because they know they're robbing other people and deceiving other people. That's what I think about the mainstream media. These people should not be getting paid. These people should be incarcerated. You know. But yeah, still I'm at going on 50 minutes of recording time so far with YouTube Live with no complaints. Ooh, guy overbid it there on Price is Right. Poor old guy. Didn't win any trips to Africa. Well, can I go visit Obama's family? They're both over, it looks like, so nobody won nothing. Oh well. Good for them. They don't have a tax bill. No luxury tax bill. Looks like we have a little bit of reprieve in the rain shield. I mean, no, it's still raining, and my whole lawn is just saturated. And I got pretty soaked when I went out there, let me tell you. Hey there, baby. Yeah, that is my YouTube Live update. And you need a baby change. So yeah, folks, get my baby changed here. Enjoy the lightning storm out there. This will only take me a second. I've become quite the pro. And she's very patient with me. Ain't you, babies? Yes, you are. Patient with Daddy because you not know what I'm doing? No, I know. But like I said, folks, you don't need to watch this. So. If you want to, that's cool. I'm not broadcasting this part because it's pretty gruesome. Ready then. She said, oh, thank you, Daddy. You make me baby fish. Mm. Say, oh, thank you, Daddy. You make me baby fish. Get it all, get it all. Get it all the booty. Yeah, that's what we call it around here, pooty booty. I don't like cussing myself. You might hear a few words come out of my mouth, but personally, I don't like it. Other people can say what the fuck they want, but The freedom of speech is really to say what is right, not whatever you want. So yeah. All right, my buddy. Here's my buddy. Daddy's over there pulling cords on his pewter. You see, Daddy, you always over there pulling cords on your pewter. And they will say that's because Daddy has to keep his eyes on things and he has to even learn a lot. You know, that's another thing I keep seeing out here is all these professed experts, man. You know, I have so much to learn. And I understand the astrophysics and some of the quantums, quantum mechanics and stuff versus the quantum theory of string and all that. Mathematics are always fun, aren't they? Those fun to get. But I got so much more to learn. That's why I'm so hungry for the knowledge that is out there for me to gain. There's so many people that are out there that think they know it all, and here I know this, so trust me on that. I'm like, well, show me some evidence. I'm out there gathering some evidence out there, and that's why I enjoy to show you guys charts and stuff like that. What is out there for public consumption, private consumption too. There's a lot of good stuff out there too. Here we go. And my baby's so patient with me.
I have a wonderful child. Her name is Hope. Say hi, Hope. You got hi, Hope. Say hi, Hope. Apple pie in the sky, Hope. There you go, my babies. Well, we got a soap opera, the old and the useless, I call it. And I don't watch that. The news is coming on, though.
Linked the burglary to Stephen Vauchel. A warrant was put out for his arrest in September, but it wasn't until yesterday he was found in Pleasant Hill. Vauchel's been arrested and charged with first-degree burglary. He's been transferred to the Jasper County Jail. Well, more than a month missing, now police hope reward money will get people talking.
Not reproducing it for my channels for
today
parody purposes.
To announce a reward in the case of Ethan Kosmerzik. He was last seen September 15th in rural Hampton. We'll be talking to authorities about this case, and we'll bring you more on ABC 5 News at 5 and at 6. Well, it took more than 3 years and $130 million, but the new Iowa State Prison in Fort Madison is almost done. We got our first look inside this week. The prison is surrounded by razor wire and an electric fence. Inside, the housing block cells are individually wired, and that allows the entire prison to be locked down in seconds. With guard towers perched all around the facility, the place appears to be escape-proof.
I don't like to use as a warden the term escape-proof facility. I can tell you this, we have significant enhancements that put us in a much better position to manage this population. I certainly don't intend for anybody to escape from this institution.
So they got a brand new institution with
Officers
all
will spend
kinds
the next
of
couple of months getting used to the new prison. The inmates are scheduled to begin moving in early next year.
Early
Let's
next
go ahead
year,
and
we're
take a
going to
look
get all
at
these
your
fresh
weather now,
inmates,
because that
people.
has just recently kind of come undone, hasn't it?
It has. All of that
Here's the
spring-like
weather
warmth
report.
and humidity going straight up into some thunderstorms.
Yeah.
And heavy rain is the result. result right now. We've had some reports of small hail, and we did have a severe thunderstorm warning issued earlier in western Iowa. Now we're looking at just heavy thunderstorms pushing right on through and putting down 1 to 2 inches of rain in a very short amount of time. That will cause street flooding, and even though we've been relatively dry recently, it could cause some minor flooding issues going into the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm
severe
already
weather
soaked
down
out
to
here,
the
guys.
south. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch in Missouri. So far, no warnings of recent, or as of late, here in central Iowa, and slightly better visibility on the Orton Home Skycam. It's still pretty murky out there, although this rain, shower, and thunderstorm activity will help to clean. To the south and east, our warmest here, it's 57 in Creston, 59 in Ottumwa, but we've got 55 here in the metro, and I lowered high temperatures today because of the timing of the rain. It's going to be off and on throughout the rest of the day, and I don't think it lets up its grip, so we'll be hard-pressed to get into the low 60s before a cool front does come through, and it will eventually sweep out all this moisture and give us a better-looking forecast. I'll have those details, plus a spooky, kind of soggy Beggar's Night forecast. We'll have that coming up.
Spooky for sure right now.
And soggy, pretty likely.
Yeah, all right, thanks, Chris. Lawmakers have been waiting to grill Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius about problems with healthcare.gov. And today they got that chance. ABC's Karen Travers has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Getting a phone call from a friend of mine.
Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius wasted no time. You deserve better. I apologize. This morning, the embattled secretary was on the hot seat. Republicans and Democrats asking tough questions. For nearly a month, technical problems have plagued healthcare.gov, and so much of the recent attention is focused on what went wrong, who's to blame, when will it get fixed. We're working day and night, and we'll continue until it's fixed. But Republicans are honing in on a different issue, this now familiar mantra from President Obama.
If you like your plan,
you can keep your plan. But it turns out that's not true. 15 million Americans may use the cheap but limited insurance plan they currently have. Insurance companies that offered those plans to Americans like Julie Prince left out basics that are now required by law under Obamacare. Things like hospital coverage, maternity and mental health care, prescription drugs. Sebelius said this will give people better coverage. They must be offered new plans, new options. One Republican lawmaker said that's taking away Americans' choice and will cost them more money. Some people like to drink their solo cup with their crystal stamp. The three independent healthcare experts, Americans are likely to find plans that are just as cheap or cheaper with better coverage. The marketplace is fully functional. Sebelius said that will be by the end of November. Secretary Sebelius was asked if she would delay the penalty for not having insurance because of all of these problems. She said no. Karen Travers, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Well, also in Washington today, the U.S. House and Senate are meeting to discuss moving forward on the long-delayed Farm Bill. Both chambers have passed their versions of a 5-year, $500 billion Farm Bill. Now they need to merge them into one piece of legislation. One major difference is the $35 billion gap on food stamp spending. Here in Iowa, farmers have no choice but to finish harvesting this year's crops and move forward with their plans for 2014.
It's the uncertainty of what to do. We have the crop insurance and we have the price supports, and trying to plan our future without knowing any of that is kind of difficult.
If that January 1st date hits and no bill is passed, the Iowa Farm Bureau says it'll have a devastating impact on both farmers and consumers. Well, still to come on ABC 5 News Midday, agents in 2 Iowa counties are working hard to track ICE, what they're doing to keep it off the streets. And airport screenings are becoming a breeze. Hear all about a new program next.
You're watching ABC 5 News at Midday in high definition with Stephanie Engelson and Central Iowa's most accurate cast with Chris Konowa. This is ABC 5 News at Midday in high definition.
Our time at Valley Woods Mall and ABC 5 thinks you should get paid for your eggs. Bring your report card to Valley Woods Mall Guest Services. If you received at least games and more, the Candy Clubhouse, and Taco John's. One lucky student will win a prize party for 20, the Blank IMAX Dome Theater at the Science Center of Iowa. It always pays to get A's.
free your report card to Valley West Mall Guest Services today.
My first thought after high school was I was going to go into construction. I just was always kind of fascinated with heating and air conditioning. That's when I started looking at Batter College. And the instructors are top notch. They're always available to answer your questions. I utilize that quite a bit. I got a job in heating and air conditioning field. The skills that I was learning, I could apply them in the workforce. Batter definitely gave me the fundamental tools that I needed to begin my own business. I would definitely recommend Batter. They did
exotic cooking oils that I like to use that are like olive oil based. I have to eat more healthy, and some of the stuff you can't always find in the Hy-Vee or whatever, so you got to find like direct distributors.
Participants may receive investigational medication, study-related care, and compensation for travel. No insurance.
Kind of like, you know what,
with your help, we hope to reveal answers.
You know, Tupperware or whatever. Some of these people have a hard time making it into direct markets like a Hy-Vee or a Fairway or whatever store that you have. And FDA is actually going hard for each. You know, you can't even buy red grain rice here in America.
Who will be there to watch over your loved one after they're released from the hospital?
I'm sorry about the
Madrid Home Communities, independent living, assisted living, skilled rehab, and long-term care.
That commercial noise. Another lightning bolt.
MadridHome.com.
Welcome back. Well, October has been a busy month for the Drug Enforcement Task Force in eastern Iowa. Agents in Blackhawk and Braver counties are working to get investigators say it's a pure form of meth that's typically manufactured in what they call
Hi, guys.
Earlier this month, officers arrested 7 people on meth-related charges. They believe they are part of a bigger drug ring in the southern portions of the U.S.
This is for transportation.
Talking about the
to deliver.
meth market here in Des Moines,
very uncommon amount we've seen
or Iowa,
in the Cedar Valley area.
On our news
now, the
here.
task force says it's working several leads to
£1
communities
for
to stop the sale of
$68,000.
crystal meth in the area. They say eastern Iowa isn't alone in seeing the ICE increase. It's really happening all across the Midwest. Frequent flyers will find it easier to navigate through the Des Moines airport today.
Yeah, so yeah, they're out there looking for those ICE dealers, for sure. You know, but like I said, the FDA cracks down on people that deal health food, vitamins, things of that nature. And that's my approach to health. That's what I have to do because of my heart problems. They don't have any technology to deal with a bad heart. I hope you guys know that. Transplant's your only option. You got all kinds of other things, you know, for, you know, blockages and clots and things of that nature. But nothing for a bad heart, guys, except health. And so you have to find these unique foods and that are really heart healthy, like superfoods. Right, babies? And I'm trying to get my wife away from the old meat and potato diet, and hopefully my daughter will not follow it. I like the Mediterranean diet. That's why I like these olive oils that you can get, that you can't get in stores. But, you know, my funds are pretty low. So what do you do when your funds low? This stuff is not cheap, you know. Like I said, to get red grain rice for a 2-pound bag, you have to get it from a Oriental food store, if you could find it locally. And if you can't find it there, you usually have to find it in California from an Oriental food store that's willing to overlook the laws and say you can't have it here in the United States. It's because it prevents cancer. Did you know that? They won't let this rice in, or even grow it here in the United States. You know, it's treated like opium. But it is a superfood. And I'm into canning too. My friend Rick and I, we do our own canning of vegetables. You know, doing the salsas and the other things. I'm trying to get into more fruits, planting some fruit trees. That way we can can apples and things of that nature. Because fruit is a very important part of our diets. He's the one that's actually teaching me how to can, so. To do it right, to pickle and etc. He does it pretty simply, but I'm more of a gourmet person, and I'll probably mess things up. But he's a good old boy that knows about that stuff. I brought him my cucumbers, and he pickled them for me, so. But he just lives actually down the street from me. And that's what you have to be, is, community minded, getting to know those that are right next to you and establishing those type of networks, you see. I have friends that are in Des Moines, of course. Good friends. Family that is down south in Knoxville. So I got interest statewide. Oh boy, now we got the weather rate experts. Should I turn this up for you guys? These weather rate experts.
Central Iowa, now that moisture is going up into the sky, and it's feeding some thunderstorms. And
the moisture is now going up into the sky.
Heavy storms, non-severe in the entire
How did you
state,
do that?
But we do have heavy pockets of rain there, with heavy storms and fog likely going through the morning hours here across Central Iowa, putting down some pretty copious
this morning it
amounts
was
of
so foggy,
rainfall
you probably
well.
wouldn't be able to see the
Right now, we've
S-curve
got
up there.
raindrops hitting the lens, and thankfully no severe weather in Central Iowa, though.
Real
If you're
foggy.
going south on I-35 this afternoon, there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect in Missouri, and I do expect to see some stronger storms that direction. Our storms today are going to be pretty weak, pretty tame. With that said, you could still have some small hail, and there's a slight risk for some gusty winds with these. I would expect the winds to top out around 35 to 45 miles an hour, but in a stronger storm, we could get near severe winds. We'll keep tracking that. And any breaks in this afternoon's cloud cover will help to allow this atmosphere to kind of destabilize and build up that storm potential.
That's your
again.
sun
Although
potential.
I think that we're going to stay
And he's
mostly
talking
cloudy.
about
So
any
biggest
breaks
threat
in
with
the
these
clouds,
storms
any bit of
is going
breaks
to
in
be
the
heavy
clouds,
rain.
any of that
Now,
energy
I
getting
haven't because anytime we
Yeah,
have
you tell
a
it.
system
Yeah,
like
it's
this
my baby
coming
looking
through,
right
there's
at her.
always
You're
a
right at
slight chance of a tornado, but here in the state of Iowa, I don't think we'll see any. In fact, maybe just one or two tornadoes reported with this entire system as it pulls through with a big rash of severe weather and heavy. We see Carol not reporting, but we've had reports of 1 to 2 inches of rain very, very quickly with these thunderstorms, and it's falling pretty fast across Central Iowa. So keep
All
that
his
in mind.
maps
Now,
are
one
off
good
right
thing
now,
storms
and he's
are
looking a
bringing
little
is better
frustrated.
visibility. Carol up to 2-mile visibility, better than 0, which is what you were at earlier. And you couldn't see a thing in Creston earlier. Now we have 5-mile visibility.
Yeah, that
Here
was
in the
us.
metro, 1/4-mile visibility is now up to 1 mile, and all across Central Iowa, we're pushing that fog a little bit further to the north. Still a dense fog advisory in effect for northeastern Iowa until noon. But the thick fog is lifting. I put together this Skycam time lapse. We were pointed pretty much down earlier, just trying to see something. And now you see the clouds starting to lift very slowly here. Effectively, what's happening is the parade of raindrops is dragging cooler, drier air down from the sky, and it's kind of getting rid of some of our humidity. It's also actually running into all those little drops of water, knocking them out of the sky. And we'll see improving visibilities going into the afternoon. Still pretty murky on the
Did you see the
ordinary
way he
sky camera
explained
right
the
now. We've got a
fog?
temperature of 55, heavy thunderstorms
BS.
in the area.
In a way.
Humidity is at 96% with a northwest wind.
Okay.
Miles an hour. Temperatures across
It
the
was
state
kind of
are in
the other way
50s,
around.
still 57 in Creston,
That's how they modify your
59
weather.
though in Ottumwa, 60s,
And
knocking on
they're
the
talking
door
about
here.
the fog and that
But they're
dense
going to
fog.
have a hard time lifting. Right now, this warm front is stalled across southern Iowa, lifting very, very slowly and focusing the showers and storms along it. And this is all ahead of a cool front that's not really moving very fast. So what we have is a whole bunch of moisture piling up against this front, and we're going to be just in front of it for most of the day today. So that puts us
And
in
that
a
low
pretty good
pressure
path
that's
for
affecting the
heavy
whole
rainfall
center of the United
and scattered
States
showers
is
and
right
storms
over
all night
Iowa.
long. In fact, it looks like all afternoon long we'll be in and out of those storms. Our Stormcast
Spinning
HD
its way right above
gives us
Sioux
some breaks
Falls.
here. I think it's been a bit
Telling you
optimistic
folks,
that
Iowa's
boundary's
ground
just to our
zero for
west,
weather
and it
modifications
stays
for the
pretty much
United States of
stationary throughout
America.
the afternoon and evening. So between 5 and 7 o'clock, very likely that we'll see scattered showers.
Not saying that
and storms right here
geoengineering
in
doesn't
central
happen in
Iowa,
other
the
states.
strongest of which should remain down to the south. And then looking at tomorrow's forecast, much
But
better.
we get it
We'll
all
that
right
rain
here,
off to
folks.
the east. We'll bring in some drier
Any
air
and all the
out to
technology
west,
that's
we'll begin
utilized
cooling down
with geoengineering
drying
and weather
out here in
modification.
central Iowa. Stormcast rain products here putting
Okay,
down,
they're two different
earlier
things.
was putting down about 1 to 2 inches. They get just updated here with about an inch from Creston up through
Weather
the metro.
modification is your local manipulation. Geoengineering is your
very closely. Today, 64 degrees,
national or global
way for rain
manipulation,
and thunderstorms all
where they
afternoon. Tonight,
control the climate in
thunder
general.
showers coming to an end. Breezy and relatively mild, and then heading into your Halloween forecast, much better.
You know, a week ago they were forecasting real cold temperatures. Now we get all these CMEs, and now we're back up into the 60s again. Okay, really, it's a nice warm day today. 64 degrees is a high. You know, a week ago when they did the 7-day forecast, it said 40s. And then we get all these CMEs, and our temperatures now bump up.
It will be, but it's the warmth ahead of a storm.
You know, it's space weather than Earth weather.
Talk about in that 10-day.
And if you get the regular radiance behind,
All right, thank you, Chris.
you know, these repeated storms that hit us,
And later winterizing your home for
you know, that's where you get these abnormally warm days.
ABC5 News Midday.
Depends on how your ground temperatures react. So you cloud it up and try to prevent that from happening.
We're going to have the car you
Kind of
want.
like what a transition lens does. That's one of the ways they manage their radiation.
It's playoff time on the Blitz, and as the game gets bigger.
Yeah, I'm over an hour and 15 minutes. The YouTube Live is allowing me to record. It's pretty interesting.
ABC5. The Friday Night Blitz is presented in part by Great Clips, Fairway Food Stores, and Sundrop Citrus Soda. It's the Blitz Playoff Edition on ABC5, Wednesday at 10:35, and streaming live on the free SyncBack app.
Let me turn down the commercials for you guys. It's really the best of the news that we got for you today for our local news. You know, if you want, you know, just, you know, it's a little late into the recording, but, you know, just hit play on this and walk away. That way you can use YouTube's resources in streaming a video this late.
Chance we'll have to take. We may shine, we may shine. We'll be picking up the pieces here on land. We are proud, we are human. We are saying fire, we let you.
Boy, you better do it now while you got your chance. Might not hear the moves, but she won't dance. Look at her looking at you, looking fool. Bet she thinks you're cool. Better grab a hold while the time is right. You know that's about my life. It's Got zero sail wheels and a full tank of gas. Hold on tight, boy, it's gonna go fast. First real taste of what it's like to be free. Got zero sail wheels and a full tank of gas. Hold on tight, boy, it's gonna go fast. First real taste of what it's like to be free. Summer at 16. Summer at 16. Head to Zeus.com for an exclusive performance by the Wild Feathers and many more live from the couch. Only on Zeus Country.
Where's Flo? Anybody know where Flo is? Are you Flo? Yes. Is this the thing you gave my husband?
Well, yeah, yes, the name your price tool. You tell us the price you want to pay, and we give you a range of options to choose from. Careful, though, that kind of power can go to your head.
That explains a lot. I got this. Give me one.
Give me one. The power of the name your price tool. Only from
And some people ask, why bother putting up a video
For an hour and a half or more.
When I need some short-term cash, I
You
can't
know?
waste time standing in line at a payday lender. So I call Money Mutual.
Because I think YouTube wants to bury anything that has to do with the weather.
I'm always there for my
Think
daughter.
about it.
And Money
Why don't they
Mutual is
put,
always there for me.
they got news and politics. They got science and technology. Why won't they give us a heading for weather? Just weather. They got comedy, how to,
From the makers
you
of
know.
Candy Crush comes
Let's call for a
Saga,
heading
and
for, you know, for weather or climate. You know, give us our section where people can search and get direct access to this information. Or environment. You know, I don't see any environmental. You think all these greenies, these tree huggers that created this Google mess, the YouTube mess, would create something of a heading called environmental. So we could talk about Fukushima, we could talk about geoengineering, we could talk about the climate change, which is man interference with the weather. Now think about this. If they say, okay, if you go along with all this climate gate stuff, you're saying to yourself, okay, we're going to modify our environment anyway because of the environment. They're advocating geoengineering as a remedy, aren't they? And they say we cut back on CO2 emissions and all those stuff, right? Well, that's modifying the climate, is it not? Modifying the environment, is it not? So why isn't YouTube giving us our own forum? You know, all these tree huggers that created all this IT web www hashtag this and hashtag that and, you know, recycle this and recycle that. Right, baby? Yeah, you say it. You know, you got baby waist. She's not even a year old, but I tell you, she was way advanced. She was a way advanced child. I thank Jesus for her. But this is the one reason why I'm doing this long upload as a means of a protest for YouTube, because the lack of attention and priority you would think that they would give to this subject. You know, this should be promoted by YouTube in their trends, in their promoted videos or promoted topics, you know, but they don't. They, you know, they want stupid pet tricks, you know, and you know, kids falling off of their skateboards or whatever, you know, to promote. Yeah, that's what, you know, you guys need to consume, right? That's what you guys need to know about, or to be talking about, or, you know, what happened on the X Factor, or whatever, or Survivor. No. You know, I know the guys that, like I said, they're in their 20s that are talking about this, and are seeing this every day. That's undeniable by what they see, with their simple application for high school science, and they're getting it. So what's wrong with the rest of us? So you guys that are my age, hopefully you're pointing them in the right direction, okay? That when they consume an insurance product, make sure that they talk to their salesman and the company, and talk about geoengineering weather modification, saying if it's not built into my policy that you pay me 150% on damage caused by a geoengineered storm, and they know that when it happens, 150, 200% return, hey, that's where you benefit on having the policy, right? Not just partial compensation where you get 20 or 30% or 40 if you're lucky. And then if you got to sue, an attorney gets a portion of it. You shouldn't have to sue to get what you're owed. And everything, even like disability today, you got to sue to get disability. Really, you got to sue your federal government in order to collect on something that you paid into. And so you got to hire an attorney who gets a slice. You see what I'm saying? It's just, and that's what this is all about, guys, is to protect other people from lawsuits. They should be paying. They should be getting, they are the ones that should be paying you, because they're taking and utilizing your natural resources, which is your atmosphere, you know, your weather. You know, you own the airspace above you, above your property, supposedly. And that's where a lot of these lawsuits stem from. And so they put FEMA in between you guys, say, oh, we got FEMA paying you off. No, we don't. Look what happened to those people in Katrina and got those FEMA trailers that were contaminated. That's what they have in store for you guys. You think that's getting your stuff back, your memories back, your labor back, your blood, sweat, and tears on the property that you've maintained for 15, 20 years? You're never going to get none of that back. So, yeah, I'll sit here and upload up to 2 hours. I'll do whatever, it will take. To point out geoengineering. Here's a geoengineered storm falling right in my neighborhood right now. Cue my previous recording for the radar images that prove that these are manufactured storms. Anybody who's any expert on how to read the returns, that would know that these storms are not natural, especially in their movement, especially in the fronts, the low pressure system, where it's located, and how it's drawing energy off of the Pacific Ocean. All the way up here in Iowa, okay, is dragging it across Texas and up through Texas, up through Oklahoma, Missouri, and they can't draw it up in the Gulf anymore. No, it's a big no-no now. Yeah, because they start creating activity like that, then they'll have hurricanes again. Oh, no, can't have that. Sure. But yeah, this is an experiment I've been wanting to do for a while. That way, if I know that there's a tornado coming my way, or something of that nature, even an ice storm, okay, they can create, it goes all the way through all the seasons, even into winter, folks. Get a severe thunder snow, and it's going to dump a foot of snow, and that can cause roof collapses, road closures, accidents on the road. The list goes on. Okay, and I caught the DOT closing down roads during a less severe storm, right? They closed down all the roads, made everybody flood into the hotel rooms and restaurants, right? So it gives the economic boom to Des Moines, right? They closed off 35 and 80 so nobody can get anywhere. And then we had a more severe storm, and they didn't close down the roads. And then there was a lot of accidents, etc. So, they use your weather to lock you down in the wintertime. If you're traveling on the roads and boom, here comes a big snowstorm, next thing you know, you got to flood into all the hotel rooms that probably wouldn't have been occupied otherwise, right? And the DOTs do that. They have gates that literally lock off the interstates, and you're forced off of the interstates. And if you're not going to stay in a hotel, you're going to go into a restaurant somewhere, and stay in there several hours. That's a couple of meals, right? And a lot of coffee. But that is one of their policies when it comes to weather modification. Literally to spur economics when it comes to hotels and restaurants. How infinite these policies have already prevailed in your governments. Okay, they know these storms are coming. They prepare. They do all this stuff to get ready and make the best of a disaster. They're profiting off a disaster. Yeah, and they're making you pay for the taxpayer. It's all your fault. All that gas you're burning, right? All that CO2 you're emitting, all that breathing you're doing, all the cows that are farting, right? When it's actually them up there manipulating your weather, spraying aluminum and silica, barium and salts and everything else, in your air. And you breathe it at night, by the way, guys, especially at night. It's not just about when it rains. They prep the atmosphere days before, and at night you go outside, you can see that stuff falling on you. Okay, especially if you get out there with a high-powered flashlight, point it up in the air, and you can see all the particulates that you're breathing in. I'm starting to advise my viewers that at night you should wear a mask that can, filter some of this stuff out. It wouldn't hurt at all. The Chinese even have fashion masks that they're wearing them so often. Some have clown faces and other things too. So it's a fashion trend in China. So don't feel bad about wearing them out at night, knowing that this stuff is in your air and will cause you lung disease over time. It will accumulate and you'll get COPD or asthma, allergies. Your lungs will actually have a harder time functioning as it's absorbed into the muscle itself. That's a little part that I have a problem with geoengineering and some of the techniques that they use. Well, if an informed public knows not to, if you're going to go out at night and it's not raining, and right now it's raining, so it probably would be too bad because the particulates are binding with the water molecules. But when they're prepping it the days before and that stuff's falling at night, you don't want to be breathing that stuff. And I go out at night because I like to watch the stars and stuff like that. I take a look at what's going on out there. And I got a pretty good view of the sky from my property. So I'm even thinking about employing a mask when I go out there. Just one of those regular dust masks. I don't recommend everybody going out there in a gas mask. What can you do? If it's that bad, folks, we're way beyond discussion about anything. Okay, and we got Fukushima too. If that isn't taken care of right away, folks, it's all over. Okay, and I don't like that to be a fear monger, but it's reality. Fukushima is an entire reality. I think it's the one thing, it talks about how long it would actually take to clean up Fukushima. And you're talking 1,000 years. And it's funny how there's 1,000-year reign between, the time Jesus wraps everything up with the devil for 1,000 years and lets him out after another 1,000 years. See if we learned anything after the cleanup. Okay. Jesus, this is part of Christ's creation, this world. I know this is not our home for right now, but this is all part of God's creation, and look what we've done to it. And there's going to be a time where He will intercede and is interceding and sending you guys notice. It doesn't mean you keep polluting, you keep destroying. Okay? Because you're going to be the ones that He's coming for, really. All right, to take care of you guys. And He's already taken care of me and always will, so trust Him on that. And we talk about, Jesus coming back to get His bride, and yeah, but he's also going to take care of the rest. And hopefully he'll fill our hearts as Christians with the right perspectives on how to manage the earth like he first commanded us to in the garden, to take dominion over it, not to destroy it, to enhance and to study and to protect what goes on here with its ecosystems and things of that nature. I'm not a greenie, I'm not a tree hugger. What I say is that we are stewards of God's creation. That's why he gives us authority over dominion over the earth above all the other creatures. And that's why creatures hate us. That's why they're scared of us, because they know how dastardly we are and have been. That's why there's a fear of man and animals. They see it in us. Okay? That's why they run away. Okay, we could domesticate a few. But even then, you see dogs, they look at you like, what the heck are you doing? And now our children are waking up. So I hope you understand that. And they don't like it at all. And I've woken up to what my parents have done. And not too excited about how it's corrupted our politics and led to policies that allow for this, without you being able to say a darn thing. Okay, yeah, we're getting some rain now, but we had 3 years of drought, and I experienced some damage on my home and my foundation with the receding of the ground because it cracked and it was so dry, and tree damage. I had a tree that I'm going to have down that's going to cost me a couple of grand. On and on it goes. I mean, I suffered loss due to drought. So, gonna have to talk to my insurance company about that, huh? Yeah, baby. Yeah, so far YouTube's let me do an hour and 35 minutes. Rain, thunder, and lightning is the main event here. Na, 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 na. Yeah, Keith Urban, a little bit of everything. Capital Nashville, songwriters, Brad Warren. Okay, no copyright infringement meant. Watching it on Zeus Country. That's ZUUS Country. Music Video Channel.
Head to Zeus.com for an exclusive performance by Sam live from the couch.
Oh, you want to watch them too?
Zeus Country.
And this video will probably get 0 views. I hope so, guys.
That's why Consumer Cellular is the perfect cell phone company for us. We get great service, and compared to our old plan.
But honestly, yeah, I think they need to, here at YouTube, provide us our own forum here. Climate, environment, something on ahead of there, not news and politics, not nonprofit activism, not science and technology. Even though this is the new science and the new technology, we need our own environmental or climate header there at YouTube. And so I encourage everybody to go out there and create a clone account, or even use your own account if you want to be recognized, and do one of these live uploads, okay, for a few hours, okay, and even put on the audio, this is a protest, stop censoring us, stop altering our accounts, stop preventing us from wanting to do our own mass communication or our own broadcasting. Because we see what's going on is obvious. You allow the Obama administration shills out there. You know that they're directly employed by the government to take down videos, interfere with subject matter. When there's a news event, you'll, fake technical glitches that don't allow proper recordings or uploads with audio. You do all kinds of stuff, YouTube, to prevent those that have the truth to get it out there. And those will consolidate some of the news that's out there to give you a good image of what's really going on. And that's possible here at YouTube, but they've got it now to where it's, takes you forever to do one video, right? But if there's multiple breaking stories, otherwise you got to do this YouTube Live. So do the YouTube Live, do a couple of hour upload, do that every single day. If you're going to go to the store, go shopping, just hit the record. And let them know this is, in protest of your cover-up of what's really going on with our climate. What do we got going on here? Come on, Sprint. I got a lot of emails I have to go through, a lot of notifications. I got some comments going on one of my videos right now on severe weather alert on the radar returns. That's the one I'm doing before this one. So whoever just commented, let's see here. I'll tell you what they said. Oh, this person here, Shelby Spacewatch, I believe she's maybe one of my subs. She says, I am FAO. Love the sounds of your child in the background. Laugh out loud. Too cute. Yeah, that's why I don't censor her, because she is vocal like me. And she's not, she's 10 months old. And is already learning words and walks around and does all kinds of things. Even watches Daddy and learns how to work the computer, the keyboard and the mouse. She knows what Daddy's doing. And I give her plenty of baby toys to play with, right? And but of course she'll just come up here and just want to do what Daddy's doing. And I'm telling you, I got about every gadget and thing that a baby could want. Sometimes I just want to come right up here and see what Daddy's doing. Simple as that, huh, my dad? Yeah. So I hope you're listening, YouTube. Stop harassing your clients through providing you free content. I mean, these people like myself and others you're working for YouTube for free. Think about it. Every little bit of video they have, they've gotten for free. You wouldn't have a tube without the video. They wouldn't have any content. They'd have just a bunch of commercials for you to watch. And a few commercial providers. We're the nuts and bolts of YouTube. The ones that pick on those X's to mark out the ads. Yeah. And, unless things change, their YouTube, we might just have to go to another venue. No, she's spinning letters. Learning her ABCs and playing with the curtains. Hey, hey, daddy, daddy, right? You say, Daddy, pull back curtain so I can see that rain. Okay, see? Pretty rainy out there. Pretty soggy. Open up the windows so you can feel the cold. Not that cold.
Press the button to spin the letter wheel. P. P. Press the button to spin the letter wheel.
It's probably not too bright opening up the window. Not with all that lightning out there.
Press the button to spin the letter wheel.
All right, I'm about to have enough of that one.
Q.
Q.
Q. Press the button.
Bye. No more peanut letters. This pretty mess with the puppy. Yeah, I was just also curious if they'll let me go beyond a 2-hour limit on the live. Considering maybe doing some interviews. And, take my laptop along and log in that way and do a live with my laptop. The one interviews that I'm interested in doing are with some science teachers. The ones that are teaching your children, whether it be in elementary, your middle schools, your high schools, and see if they would consent to doing some interviews on camera and to see if they're teaching them science or are they teaching them an agenda rather than the science. They only want them to know so much, enough for our children to be productive little slaves, to read, write, and do arithmetic, and hardly any of them are getting to learn that anymore. My child is going to actually have a quality education, whether it be through private schooling or homeschooling. So I'm actually saving up for that, to pay for that. I got to pay tuition on top of my property tax. I will. So my child will have a quality education. I don't need to wait for any type of government incentive. Say my child deserves better. Yeah, I'll pay for your child's education too, and pay for my child's education as well. I guess that's just the way it's done here in America. So enjoy your public schools. Yesterday they had our public schools on lockdown in Des Moines while they searched for a black man that supposedly had a gun. No gun was ever found, except they found the guy about a block away from his house. The guy actually lived in the apartment building right behind one of my friends, and it happened all played out in front of on his front lawn. And but they locked down all the middle schools, and think about the event. It went on for a couple hours as they're looking for this guy who showed up at a school to argue with his girlfriend. His girlfriend said that he threatened or said something about having a gun, which we don't know that to be fact or not. He said, she said. The next thing you know, they're locking down all the schools. You got all the children crying and cowering in corners as the police are zipping around, and then they, find this guy and incarcerate this guy, and he, for having an argument with his girlfriend on school grounds. And he was only a block away from his apartment. He was just walking home, but Yeah, to scare all the kids. I mean, really? What do you do in a situation? What if you really did have a gun? Well, you respond to the incident at hand. What, we're going to have 4 schools being shot up at once? I mean, is that what they're forecasting? 5 schools, whatever. They locked them all down for hours and scared all these poor children. And then you see all the parents who are, in hyper anxiety mode over the whole situation. And, guy never had a gun, by the way. Never did. So, I think that you as parents, and if you want to take them to a public school or whatnot, go right ahead. And that's the environment in which your children will get to enjoy. You know, they get locked down. So they're getting conditioned for their future, right? Get locked down in the office, get locked down, period, in the new federal penitentiaries that are popping up and state penitentiaries that are being built. We already got the largest amount of people behind bars in the world, and they've already now completed fresh prisons all across the United States for a fresh new population. Think about that. You talk about FEMA camps. They also built a lot of new state prisons, too. They just completed one right here in Fort Madison, Iowa. Check that one out. 800 fresh new beds. Really? 800 really means 2,400. All right, they'll stuff 3 people to a cell there. They don't care. They'll stack one upon the other. They'll turn an auditorium into a, sleeping quarters, to a dormitory. They don't care. They'll stack them in there like bricks, So they are getting ready to incarcerate because they got all these weird laws going on that you're going to not be able to avoid. Did you know the common citizen commits between 3 and 10 misdemeanors and felonies a day without even knowing it? The average citizen. So if you think you're out there being obedient to every law, and you're just a law-abiding citizen out there, you're breaking laws you don't even know exist. And all you need to do is stop and invent one for that matter. Right? Now they don't even need a reason. You don't even need to be a lawbreaker. Okay? For them to detain you and do whatever they want. Okay? You should be able to go along your ways unmolested unless they have probable cause. It's evident to them and that you're breaking the law. It's all kinds of weird stuff like that. They're getting ready for that, They mean it that you don't have any rights anymore, and they're just going to toss you in a cage somewhere. And trust me, once you get to that point, you're forgotten about. You're at their mercy, You may have friends or family that can bail you out. Well, you got the pen and the paper trail then, right? These places are meant to be bailed out of, so. All right, coming up on the noon news, let's see what we got going on with Channel 13. Here's our NBC station. But yeah, that's why I'm doing a 2-hour upload, guys. It's really just a protest to YouTube. They need to let us have our voice. I see a lot of people being censored, and they should be promoting our videos before these paid. They should eliminate paid accounts, period. All right, you got enough advertisers, YouTube. You can eliminate all the rest. All right, you got enough people out there pushing ads onto their videos, and if you see an ad on my videos, it's only because I've added audio enhancements that I use off of YouTube, and it has to be ad supported. You don't see any non-ad supported songs on YouTube anymore. They're all ad supported. Stuff like that. I don't want ads on my videos. I really, really don't, because I do not endorse any product that you'll see in an ad if you see one on my videos. Okay, because most of these ads are part of the corporate conglomerate that's part of the problem. Or not being part of the solutions. So, anybody that's out there monetizing their videos, honestly, trust me, YouTube finds plenty of other ways to advertise. Yeah, you need to make some money. Yeah, you don't want to do this stuff for free. I don't know. you know, there's a couple of YouTube people I've subscribed to that sell stuff, but only to support their ministries. Okay. And so they'll sell stuff that promotes their site and stuff like that.
School in an hour-long lockdown, school officials review the response while the man responsible goes to court. What he told the judge this morning. The news at noon starts now.
That's a story I was telling you about putting their schools on lockdown yesterday. Channel 13, news at noon, so no copyright.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for
doing a parody here.
I'm Patrick Dick, so we're going to bring you up to date on yesterday's school lockdown and the charges
I'll let
against
them
the
talk
suspect
here.
in just a minute. But first, a story we've been following live on Iowa's Weather Channel all morning long. Meteorologist Brett McIntyre following some of those stronger autumn storms that rolled through. And what we're all really worried about, a soggy beggar's night for thousands of kids. Brett, how long are the storms going to last? Are we going to get any break here?
Well, we are going to get a break. It's just maybe not going to be timed exactly the way we would like it to be. This morning we have had strong thunderstorms, and in fact we've had a severe thunderstorm warning earlier back into Adair County, portions of Guthrie County, as well as severe thunderstorm warnings. Those have expired, and now we're dealing with some heavy rainfall throughout central Iowa. Still a few thunderstorms in southern Iowa, south of Highway 34, but northern Iowa, extremely heavy rainfall and very steady along Highway 20. You see hardly any break there, but as we put this into motion, the thunderstorms that rolled through Des Moines, they have now cleared on out of the metro, and in fact, they've fizzled a bit, and this is all kind of morphing into one big blob of heavy rainfall across the eastern half of the state of Des Moines. We're going to get a break as we head in toward the 1 o'clock hour, between 1 and 2. I think most of central Iowa will begin to dry out, but more storms will be on the way. And basically, we're going to take this radar, the way it looks now, and drag it southeast for this evening. So northwestern Iowa looking better as we head into the Beggar's Night hours, but from Ames to Des Moines to the southeast, it is going to be soggy
right now.
Again as we head starting about 6 o'clock tonight.
We are
55
starting
in Des
to
Moines. We
experience
still
some of
have
the
that
impact.
dense fog in eastern Iowa, Pat. That advisory has been extended now until 2 p.m. for eastern Iowa.
All right, pretty active weather day for the fall. Brett, thanks for staying on top of it for us. Now back to our other top story. Des Moines school officials say they are meeting to assess the response to a threat at Merrill Middle School yesterday. Meanwhile, the man accused of causing Merrill and 4 other Des Moines schools to go on lockdown went before a judge today. 35-year-old Ryan Collier made his initial court appearance this morning, charged with first-degree harassment, domestic abuse, assault, and interference with official acts. Collier is being held in the Polk County Jail on $30,000 bond. The judge issued a no-contact order prohibiting him from going near his girlfriend and any school in the Des Moines Public School District. His arraignment is set for December 17th. Police
had an argument with his girlfriend, and now he's being treated like a sexual predator.
And threatened her. Police say Collier claimed to have a gun and said he'd use it. However, during his court appearance, Collier told the judge he did not own or possess any guns. After Collier allegedly made that threat, the school immediately called police and locked down the building. Collier ran. Police used search dogs and went door to door to search for Collier. Witnesses say it was a frightening situation.
Door to
I opened my garage door, and the police officer came by. He said, "Get back in your house and shut the door." So then I realized something must be going on.
So they put them all on lockdown. You had to
Deputies from the Metro searched the Waterbury neighborhood for about 2 hours. Finally spotted Collier a few times before he was taken into custody. Finally at 4:15.
Tell you, if I find
a homeowner sat inside her home and
I have to worry about
it.
We kept on looking out the window, you know, watching
and I know all
everybody.
these people they're interviewing, by the way, because they live right across the street from my friend's house.
You know, a guy
it happened right across the street, right out of my friend's front yard.
Our car, and 6 cops kind of jump on him. We'll grab him.
Nobody was hurt during the manhunt. Now, counselors back at Merrill Middle School this morning are talking with students who may need help coping with what they experienced during the lockdown. Parents and students told us that
it wasn't this guy that did this to them. These teachers traumatized your children.
Officers told us to run inside.
These officers traumatized your children.
Get in quickly and hide in the office.
These guys traumatized your children more than the black man's threats ever did.
On TV.
Don't you guys see it?
In other places.
I mean, if you don't, you deserve
Susan
it.
Minnick
Seeing these
Smith was
guys
able to
standing
call her
around with
son while he was
shotguns,
locked
and
down inside
did
a
that really
classroom.
make you
About
feel
an hour
safe?
later, Susan and other parents were reunited with their kids. Merrill principal Alex Hanna says he and the vice principal made the decision
if you lived in a
to
prison,
place the
would you
school on
feel safe?
lockdown based on the severity of the threat. Out of caution, the district also locked down nearby schools, including Hannawalt, Greenwood, and Hubble Elementaries,
What
and
school was
Roosevelt
locked?
High School. They are all back in class today, and Principal Hanna told us this morning
Back in
students in
class
Merrill are
or
in
back
good
into the
spirits, and
slammer?
only a few parents kept their kids home today because of the lockdown yesterday. Well, opening statements begin today in the murder
Well, how about
trial
your
of
children? You should be protesting the fact that you're being
killing
locked
his
down,
wife and their
period.
unborn child
You children
with their own
protest too,
agency
not
late
just the
last year.
parents.
The jury was seated
Maybe
Tuesday.
children can force your parents to stop being pussies and allowing cops to do this to your poor children. The black men didn't do it.
Well, opening
Okay.
statements just ended.
The
just
poor
before the
scary
noon
black
hour.
man that had a threat of a gun didn't do it.
Says that when the facts aren't in
They
your
could have dealt with it
favor,
without
you're
terrorizing the
playing
children.
emotion. He's asking that the jury not let that emotion
Okay?
be the case.
All these
But
hoaxes.
the state says you can't ignore the obvious.
Okay,
There
making
are too many
all the people in that neighborhood all
inconsistencies
scared to
with the
death because the
story
guy's
about what
walking
happened in
around.
the morning and his
And even
wife,
if he had a gun, so what?
was shot to death.
Your chances of getting shot are very slim to none.
Heckle is the one who was behind the 12.
And if you had your own, you're equal. What do you have to hide for?
Who was behind the shotgun, who pulled the trigger, who caused the gear slump to slam into his wife, and he killed her. The facts.
Anyway, you know, it's the way they spin this stuff to justify terrifying your own children while they're at school.
Right. What's
That's not the life I want my children to live, okay? So public schools, you're on your way out, period. We'll find some way to remove your funding, all right? You want to be a public school to get federal funds and stay the hell out of my community. You know, we'll turn every, public school here into private funds. So, coming up on 2 hours, let's see if it'll stop. If so, we're at 2 hours and counting. So I was wondering if it was going to stop at the 2 hour mark. Like I said, I don't expect any views from this. This is more for YouTube. Like, what's he doing recording 2 hours? Of what? Let's see if they tell me anything. Your content must meet approved guidelines. It must be of a certain standard of information quality. It can't just be a rainy day and your opinion on a few things.
57-year-old Stephen Boschel is
You playing with your child in the background.
According to Jasper County deputies, 2 Newton homeowners came home to find a man burglarizing their property on April 13th. A struggle ensued between one of the 2 residents and the suspect, and he was able to get away before police got there. In September, with the help of the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation and U.S. Marshals Service, the Jasper County Sheriff's Office filed a charge of first-degree burglary against Boschel, and an arrest warrant was issued. Well, yesterday, he was found and taken into custody by Pleasant Hill Police. He was transferred to the Jasper County Jail. A Bayard man has died and a Dell man seriously injured after a crash Tuesday evening. Guthrie County deputies got a call for the crash west of Bayard on Highway 141 around 5:30. Authorities say 23-year-old Jacob Stringer was driving west on Highway 141. He hit a guardrail, lost control of his car, crossed the center line, and hit a truck driven by 65-year-old Laverne Tiggis. He was driving east. Stringer was declared dead at the scene. Tiggis had to be extracted from the truck, and paramedics took him by air ambulance to the hospital with the crash. Remains under investigation. The president's top health official told lawmakers today she's the one responsible for the troubled launch of healthcare.gov. Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius' testimony comes as some Republicans are calling for her resignation.
Yeah, Kathleen Sebelius. You think should resign? I'm telling you, technical glitch is a false flag, so you don't know what's actually in the Obamacare bill and what you're in for. Once you sign on the dotted line, you give them the authority. It's too late for you.
House members rounded up Obama administration officials over the healthcare.gov debacle. Who was in charge as it was?
So who's in charge when you wrote the laws? See, they're getting mad that people can't sign up to put themselves in medical chains. It's a tax on being alive, folks. That's all it is. And these so-called politicians that are questioning Sebelius, they're a bunch of jerk-offs too, because they should be more complaining about what's in the bill than the ability to put these Americans in chains. Oh, we can't put, you can't sign up. Oh, if we had everything that's functioning smoothly, then everything would be just fine for these folks. They wouldn't be grilling anybody about what's in the bill and what it really means for you and your medical costs and your deductibles. And if you're an individual, if you're a white, single, male, unemployed, disabled, where are you going to get your insurance? And you don't qualify for like state, federal, or federal disability. Who's going to insure you? Nobody. Really? How's somebody like that supposed to pay for it? You know, and he advertises, oh, free health care for all, like Canada or Europe. That's the way it was played out to you guys before. Free health care, right? And it all be done through taxation and whatever. No. The health care reform. You want to get rid of high medical costs, get rid of insurance altogether, period. Get rid of the middleman, period. And your doctors will start taking chickens. They only charge you so much because they know they got an insurance company to charge. They know they wouldn't get away with charging you so much, and these doctors want to make their millions and drive their Porsches and live in bigger houses than you do, and seem like they're the smart guys of society, which they're not, okay, because they're treating you in unscientific fashion. They're no better than the 1700 doctors. You know, they really don't know much more than that. They don't got a cure for anything. They're just profiting off of treating your symptoms, okay? The medical field is so upside down, it's not even funny. Now they got to protect themselves financially with Obamacare if they're going to get any type of payment out whatsoever, because they've reached a barrier where people are awake to what's going on with our pharmaceutical industry, what's going on with our vaccination programs, what's going on with our food, you know, and doctors are being forced to come up with answers they don't have answers to, like, why am I sick all the time? All right, and they know what they want to tell you is like, hey man, it's in your environment, man. It's all these companies profiting off of you, consuming their garbage. But they can't be put on record as saying that, or saying it's Fukushima radiation, or, you know, no, it's your smoking. It's not chemtrails, you know, etc. Or just the ways of treating things. Like I say, they don't have cures for nothing. Or they know the cures, but in order to employ them, they have to go re-educate themselves in genetics and things of that nature. And they don't have the money to do that either, so they want to keep giving you the same old crappy medicine, which isn't medicine at all. You can't kill an apple tree by picking its apples, and that's the way they have an approach to the medical field today. So you got Kathleen Sebelius. How about let's fire everybody in Congress who came up with the bill in the first place, huh? Who voted for it but didn't know what was in it and didn't read bills before they signed off on it. That's treason, man. There could be stuff in there that says that, you know, they don't know what's in it. There could have been anything in there that could have caused any type of treasonous action here in this country. And they went ahead and voted for it. They could have said the sky is now green, and all of Congress must now agree the sky is green. And they would sign off, vote on it, and they'd have to start calling the sky green. And, you know, just as a facetious example, you know. So yeah, I guess I have a few things to say over the course of these couple of hours of this soggy day here in DeSoto, Iowa. Manufactured weather.
Visit us online at kaplandm.com today.
You know, imagine what this type of weather does to moods. You know, it's been nothing but cold and damp and cloudy. All right. And when we had the sun come out, of course, the geoengineers go out there and cloud it up really quick, so we'd get, you know, maybe an hour's worth of sun. And so, you know, a deck of cloud comes in and cools right off. It's depressing after a while. You know, but they have had to moderate temperatures, and I believe that's because of what's going on with the sun. They can't, well, I don't want to say they can't control that. They can.
As a school, we want to be very community-based.
So we have an idea is we can go and purchase, do a fundraiser and purchase a bunch of Thanksgiving meals through Hy-Vee, donate to the food bank.
Last year, they raised enough money to purchase 20 meals.
We're jumping back rather than just money. And right, one best way to earn it.
I can't do push-ups on
You my star.
would probably be
Hi. Hi, baby. Oh. Hey, Daddy.
The combination of fitness and is a great experience.
The baby first. Yeah. Oh.
He's going to be able to get a little sweat equity out of it as well.
We're having fun playing around, Sam. If you are, you go down your baby first again.
We need to practice.
They're about life.
I just ask them to give 100%, do what they can. I work them hard, and they work very hard. So help fundraiser for kids to donate to eastcoasttaekwondo.org. You can also put links to the site on our website, whotv.com. Click the sports tab, and then look for the workout of the week. Right, kids who are forecast. A lot of kids wondering whether they're going to be able to get out tonight.
Yeah, no trick-or-treating tonight, guys.
I keep forgetting football as well tonight. I can't decide if it's because it's Wednesday or
Sorry.
the football playoffs are
You'll be begging for beggars tonight.
A lot of outdoor activities tonight. A lot of rain on the way. A second round coming
Where'd
this
your
evening.
Saki go? You
Might
can
be
take that out.
there. That could throw a wrench in the trick-or-treat and high school football playoffs. We'll take it to the timeline coming up next.
Win an iPad or iPad Mini in Channel 13's Apple a Day giveaway. Watch Today in Iowa, get the clue from Jerry Ann, and then enter the clue at WHOTV.com. The winning starts Thursday on Today in Iowa.
The procedures are invasive, outcomes not guaranteed, and the process emotional.
Couples struggling to get pregnant often turn to in vitro or adoption. Now there's a way to combine the two.
Channel 13 News, Thursday at 10. This week on Alliant Energy's Powerhouse.
Do you own an older house?
Do you have windows that rattle in the breeze, or does your furnace look like an octopus?
This week we're talking with historic preservationist Bob Yap.
You can keep the integrity of your older home and still be energy efficient at the same time.
All about being smart with how you retrofit for energy efficiency.
We're turning back the clock and traveling back in time this week on Alliant Energy's Powerhouse.
This one heck of a pretty factory. We gotta get the baby failed.
And it all begins at 8/7 Central as we gather around for the All-Star SNL Halloween Special. Bring a lady friend from my friend Liberace over here. Oh, I'm good. Beware of the tricks on a new Sean Saves the World.
Ooh, I'm so scared.
Actually, I'm kind of scared. And the new Michael J. Fox is a treat for everyone. Mind if we take a picture? You're a real inspiration.
It's almost time for your lunchtime.
NBC Halloween Thursday.
The MediaCom fall sale has been extended. While you still can bundle all three services for just $29.95 a month. TV with HD, on demand, and stars. Faster internet up to 15 meg. Nationwide calling, each $29.95 a month for 1 year. Plus, call now and get hassle-free Wi-Fi and sports back with NFL Network. Free for 3 months. The MediaCom fall sale. Extended for a limited time. Call 800-SIMPLIFY. Channel 13's weather.
Oh, there goes my father-in-law. He's heading out to go check on the mail. We do P.O. boxes around here.
Energy Cooperative. It's just a few steps for tradition, for innovation. A few steps so we can all stay connected and live better lives. And just a few steps for all the Touchstone Energy Cooperative members who got us here. Learn more about the power of your cooperative.
Brought to you by Pella Cooperative Electric, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Meteorologist Brett McIntyre back with you here on the Channel 13 News at noon.
Yep, still videoing after 2+ hours.
fog advisory in place for eastern Iowa. We're a bit warmer today, but stormy weather will be back into our forecast by this evening. After a little bit of a break coming up here at about 1 o'clock. 54 degrees in Altoona right now, 54 in Polk City, and 56 in downtown Des Moines at the moment. We have northeast winds at 8 miles an hour, rain falling. We're already up to a half of an inch of rain in Des Moines, and we will see that total climbing higher here as we look at radar. The rain's still falling, and in fact, in northern Iowa, some very heavy rainfall across the Highway 20 corridor, Grundy Center back to Iowa Falls, even Webster City, seeing some of that rainfall right now. Taking a closer look, meteorologist Megan Salwa here with us and team coverage this afternoon of the storms. They were severe earlier western Iowa. They have since weakened a bit, but very steady rainfall Marshalltown to Ames, curling back to Ankeny and Des Moines. And then you head south into the southern tier of counties, and we still have kind of those cells and stronger thunderstorms there. Severe thunderstorm watch just across the border for northern Missouri. So we still could maybe see the potential for some small hail, maybe pea to penny-sized hail, Centerville back into Lamoni. But central Iowa, steady rainfall that will be tapering off along Interstate 35 as we head into 1 o'clock. All this is going to redevelop, though. You see the thunderstorms all the way down to Oklahoma. This low zone starts to wrap up the coast to the north and east, and that will force a second round of rain into the state. For trick or treat tonight for those that are doing it on Beggars Night. So 6 o'clock in the evening, trick or treat getting underway. Southeastern Iowa might be a no-go. Lightning going to be a possibility in these storms. In Des Moines, 6 o'clock, get out right at the very beginning of trick or treat. You may not be completely safe, but we may be able to be out of the thunderstorms until later into the trick or treat hours. That's when things go downhill even more. I think we could see some thunderstorms back in Des Moines. So trick or treat early in the metro. Iowa should be fine. The storms won't make it there until after we get into the late evening and overnight hours. And then Halloween looking much better. So if your community is going to trick or treat tomorrow night, it's going to be a much easier time of it, I think. Heavy rainfall where these storms will overlap. The morning storms, a half of an inch for Carroll, right back up into Iowa Falls. The metro will pick up another half of an inch tonight. It looks like with these storms, southeastern Iowa will get into the action as well. But we could see some spots that get it kind of both this morning and this afternoon. Could be up to an inch and a half or more in east central Iowa. So forecast in eastern Iowa, we could see some of that fog potentially especially in the north as we head to tonight. 51 degrees.
Hello, please leave a message after the tone.
Today, 58 for Thursday, 55 for Friday. We'll be a little bit warmer over the weekend. Maybe we'll see that some 60s Sunday and Monday with strong south wind. That extra heat could set up another rack of showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday. But this is a kind of an unusual storm for October. Rainfall totals a little bit higher than what we normally see. So pretty solid day. That's right. Thanks so much. Well, we are talking about trick-or-treating today, but Thanksgiving program. We're up next. How much it's going to cost you if you need to fly during the holiday season? How you can avoid some of the extra fees? Added fees contributing to the bottom line of those major airlines.
We hear it every day. The Lodge of Ashworth offers the best circle of care in retirement living. Find out for yourself. Schedule your personalized care today. How do you suggest we handle this claim? Say it's our record. We could try to do or delay, see if it's correct. Who's the lawyer representing the victim? QP and Abraham. QP and Abraham? Let's settle this one. When you're injured in an accident, call a law firm to fight for cover for you. Everything will be better. Call 800-800-QP and right here in the
Hi. Do you do free exam and x-rays? Exam and x-rays? Yes. Free? No. No free exam and x-rays. Exam, yes. X-rays, yes. Free? No. You're nodding yes, but saying no. Yes to no.
Let's try something new.
For my first exam and x-rays free. Completely free. Thanks.
Aspen Dental is doing whatever it takes to give America a healthy mouth, like offering free exams and x-rays. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL because your mouth is our mission.
Hello, folks. Rebel here. At All American Exteriors, we're giving away free gutter protection. That's right, free gutter protection with the purchase of one of our steel roofing systems. Save up to 30% on your energy bill. Lower your insurance up to 25%. Steel roofs are fire retardant, reflect heat, stand up to 2.5-inch diameter hail, and will withstand winds over 200 miles an hour. Select from over 200 colors and styles. For the company voted #1 in home improvement, call now.
Excuse me, do I need a prescription? Which costume do I need to prevent osteoporosis? Are there benefits to the Good Neighbor Pharmacy is women's health resource, and we're happy to answer your questions. Get to know your neighbor at goodneighborpharmacy.com/women's health. With more than 50 locations in Central Iowa, there's a store near you. Get to know your neighbor at goodneighborpharmacy.com.
Welcome back. It's no surprise to most people who fly a lot. They can expect a lot of fees for everything from checked bags to the privilege to board early. That's just exactly what every Thanksgiving traveler is about to find out. New numbers are out on how those fees are adding up. NBC's Tom Costello reports.
In Atlanta today, Katie Bias was just off the plane from her wedding in Baltimore over the weekend. On top of her $200 airline ticket, she had to pay an extra $50 for her bag. If it weren't for her wedding, she would have never checked one.
I paid enough for the ticket. I refused to fall to the, fall for the trap.
Today, we learned just how much the airlines are making from all the extras. Fees for checked luggage, carry-on bags, priority boarding, extra legroom, in-flight food. Add in the revenue from mileage programs, commissions from rental car and hotel sales, and those credit cards which earn you miles. It's all expected to add a staggering $42 billion to the world's airlines' bottom line this year.
For the airlines, this is absolutely critical. They would not exist as they are today without these fees.
The U.S. airline that depends the most on extra fees, discount carrier Spirit Airlines, with 38% of its revenue tied to the fees last year. $48.72 per passenger. United raked in the most from the fees, $5 billion last year, roughly $38.11 per passenger.
Yeah, YouTube still recording at 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I could have done a whole entire production. You see what I'm talking about, YouTube, about the way they do things. So anyway, expecting this type of weather for the rest of the day.
Airline industry tells NBC News these optional services that customers pay for have allowed airlines to keep airfares affordable.
Oh, and also, if you are watching any of this, if you are planning on doing any flying, that's when the proton index, the absorption rate, can be dangerous to you if you're taking extended periods of flight, 2 hours or longer. You're going to get a pretty good dose. Just FYI. Well, with that being said, let's see what happens to this 2 hour and 20+ minute recording. Okay, folks? See ya.